Hey readers, welcome back to our channel Unboxing Perspectives. I am Kanika and I am here again today with a new topic, which I got familiar with in the recent few months, and that is translation. So when we talk about translations, there are a lot of perspectives that we have, and that is what we are going to discuss today in this video. So let's start with the video. When we talk about translations, यानी जब हम बात करते हैं किसी बुक को ट्रांसलेट करने की एक भाषा से दूसरी भाषा में, translations is mainly converting a book from one language to another. So there are a lot of perspectives, there are a lot of viewpoints with them. So there are people are divided into generally two segments. One, those who love them, and one, those who don't, of course. So the people, those who love them, are of the view that they get to know a lot more of stories from a lot more of backgrounds, their culture, their way of living, their way of talking, their various stories, the small stories that are available in every part of the world. They just want to know about the whole lot of people all over the world with the wide cultural differences, with the wide language differences, and thoughts and stories, the little stories from the streets and from every individual household. So that is what we are more focused about, that we love translations because we have a lot more exposure in that, and we have a lot more sectors to explore. So why to restrict yourself to just one language or just one culture because you have a language barrier? So this is where the translations come as a handy tool. That's why we, people like us, just generally love translations. And of course, the books which are loved by the people are the ones which are translated, correct? So वो story already इतनी अच्छी है, तभी किसी ने इतनी मेहनत करी है उसे एक लैंग्वेज से दूसरे लैंग्वेज में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए. And mostly जो translate कर रहे हैं, यानी the translators are the one who are already familiar with the language and with the literature and with the concepts of literature, and they take their best, they give out their best, they have the best of the essence of the story to convert it, to translate it into another language. So I think that translated books should be given a try because of the fact that they are loved by someone with such a depth of heart and with such love that they gave their efforts to translate into another language. Another aspect, another perspective that can be there regarding the translated books are that when we translate a sentence from one language to another, generally it loses its essence. Like there are certain words in our Hindi language which cannot be translated into English. There are certain things which cannot be translated into any other factor because it loses its essence. But that is something that the translated books may lack. That is the emotions that were behind writing that particular story, and the way the people who knew that language, who read it in the language, can understand their culture and the way why the particular thing is important for them in their lives, in their cultures, and in their background. So that is what is something that is lacking in a translated book, but that can be taken as something which can be sacrificed when we are going to try some new authors, when we are going to try some new cultures and something like that. So today in this video, I would like to recommend, or I would like to talk to you about 5 authors which we have read. Of course, we have already read most of the authors. When we talk about translation, we just didn't knew that they were translations. So I will talk about 5 such authors which I tried and found it entertaining, as well as it was a very good experience for me. Like it was not something where I lacked some emotions, or where I thought that there can be something more to these books, right? So I will talk about these authors, and to start with, I will go with our favorite Hindi author, Rabindranath Tagore. So Rabindranath Tagore is not a new name, and we have already talked about him on our channel. As I will give you the link in the I button above, so that you can check out the video where we are talking about Rabindranath Tagore's works which are translated into English. So he basically writes in Bengali, and then those books are translated into English. So there is a book as 3 Women, which includes 3 short stories of 3 different women about which we have talked in detail in this video, and that I have given already in the card button as well as in the description box below. So we have talked in detail about these 3 books in these videos, and these books are really wonderful books. So here we talk about our Indian culture, Indian references, and the way our society functions. So when we talk about Indian culture, we connect to it at another level, and when we say about certain words which have a deep meaning for us in Hindi, they do not come out as expected in English, but yeah, it is very beautifully presented, and these 3 stories are really wonderful. So I think this is the first book that I will tell you, that is 3 Women by Rabindranath Tagore, which is wonderfully translated in English. And when you are going for translations, you can refer to these books and you can surely go for it. The second author that I will talk about will be Paul Coyle. Now that is not a new name, right? Yeah, Paul Coyle books are mostly read in English, yeah, and I have read some in Hindi as well. So his books are translated into a lot many languages from the basic language of Portuguese. So he writes in Portuguese and then they are converted into a lot many languages. So I have read The Alchemist in English as well as in Hindi, and there are lot many books like by him. Like the first one is The Alchemist, which is known to every single person and which you might have also read, of course. And then there is A Winner Stand Alone, which I have already reviewed on the channel. In case you are looking for the review, it is a thriller book, and I will give you the link in the card and in the description. Then the third book will be Witch of Portobello, which I read in English. So that is also a sort of biography written by him of a girl from the viewpoint of the people who know her. So that is quite a different take. And there is Hippie by him, which is his own autobiography, where he tells about his life, his events, and the way they function. So that are the 4 books by Paul Coyle, and these books are really wonderfully translated into many languages. So you can pick up the language that you prefer, and I have read them in English. So that was a wonderful experience for me. When I read Alchemist in Hindi, I found certain words which I thought not suitable in our pretext. They mean something different. So what happened with me was, at times I was thinking that does that really happen? Is that something that he is trying to say? But when I read it in English, then I was quite comfortable with it. Yeah, that is something that he is really trying to say. So that was my viewpoint on his writings. But yeah, his writings are quite famous in each of the languages that he has written. So I think that you can always go for Paul Coyle's writing. The third author that I talk very frequently when it comes to suspense thriller books is Joe Nesbo. So Joe Nesbo is a person who writes thrillers, right? So he writes in Norwegian originally, and then these books are converted into or translated into English language. So I have read his 3 books in English language, and they were totally awesome. I didn't find any place where I felt that it was translated. It was only when I read its prologue and when I read its acknowledgement that I got to know that this book is actually translated from Norwegian to English, and that was really a shock for me. So when we are going for Joe Nesbo's writing, I think that's a wonderful thing that you can try, and that is a really good way to start reading translations. So you will surely enjoy. And when I say that there are 3 books that you can talk about when we are talking about Joe Nesbo, all the 3 are Harry Hole series, and they are quite interesting. So the first one is Snowman, the second one is Phantom, the third one would be The Leopard by him. So all these 3 are suspense thriller books where the detective Harry Hole is there, and he is trying to solve out the mysteries, and he is trying to solve out the different scenarios that he is stuck in, and they involve thrill, they involve the fight sequences and everything like that. So that is thoroughly enjoyable if you love suspense thriller books. Again, author recommendations for suspense thriller you can find in the right button, and I will give you all the links in the description box as well. So the next author that we can discuss about, that is the 4th author, the famous, the most sensational author nowadays, that is Haruki Murakami. So we know that Haruki Murakami writes in Japanese, and he depicts the Japanese culture. He depicts the Japanese scenarios that are there, the living, their house, their cultures, their languages, everything is around Japan. And yeah, when you read this book, you won't feel that it is translated into some other language. I have already given a detailed video because I had so much to chat about his books, but yeah, I thoroughly loved it and I never felt that it was a translated book. So I think you can always go for Haruki Murakami's translated books in English. They cover the topic in detail and they cover it wonderfully. So that would be another recommendation by me when we talk about translations and the author recommendation, that is Haruki Murakami, which are translated from Japanese to English. So the fifth author that I would recommend would be Franz Kafka. His books are translated again into English from German. The most famous book by him is The Metamorphosis, where a man converts into a beetle or a bug, and then he had so many thoughts when this event happened, that he has so lot of work to do. He has a family to feed too. How will they survive? How will they continue in their life without him? But slowly, as the time passes, his things get sorted out, and then he learns a lot of harsh realities about life and how people can manage without him as well. So that is something which is shown in this book, The Metamorphosis. It is quite a good read. So it is also a beautiful translation, and I don't think that you will regret once you read it that why did we read it in English. So these are the 5 authors that you will thoroughly love, and I would also like to give you one bonus author, that is Frederick Brackman, and whose work are translated from Spanish to English, and his books are so heartwarming. The book that I recommend generally here is The Man Called Ove, and everyone who is watching or following this channel would know that how many times have I recommended this book, because I just love this book. And there are other works by him which I am looking forward to read in 2022 and I have not yet laid my hand on, is The Bear Town and Anxious People. So these are the 2 books which I really would like to read in this year because of his writing and the way I was impressed in The Man Called Ove. So Man Called Ove is also an English translation from a Spanish book, and these books give us an insight about the area that they live in, about the people there are in all over the world. So the 5 or the 6 authors, let us say, which I recommended belong to different parts of the world. That they are from India, they are from Germany, they are from Spain, then they are from Norwegia, and then there are from Portuguese, and there are many cultures, there are many people around. So we know about the living style, we know about how the homes are made out there, we know how the people interact, whether they are friendly, whether they are restricted to themselves, and how they behave when they are around people, how the story is built up in these areas. So I really enjoyed knowing about the different places where they take me to go around and to travel without actually spending money more than 250 on the book, right? The book can be maximum to rupees 300, but yeah, this was a really wonderful experience. I traveled around the world, and I hope that you will also travel around the world with these authors. So to summarize, the author that I recommended were Rabindranath Tagore from India, and his books are translated from Bengali to English. Then there is Paul Coyle, the most famous author of the famous book The Alchemist, and his books are translated from Portuguese to English and Hindi. Then Joe Nesbo from the suspense thriller genre, and his books are translated from Norwegian to English again. And then there is Haruki Murakami from Japan and the Japanese culture, and his books are translated from Japanese to English. Then there is Franz Kafka, and his books are translated from German to English. And then there was a bonus, Frederick Backman, whose books are translated from Spanish to English. So these are the translations which are from different languages from different parts of the world and are translated into one common language, that is English. So if you are an English reader, if you want to go and read out different parts of the world, if you want to travel, if you want to have fun with these books, go and read these translations. I assure you, you will never regret reading them, and you will find it really fun that you tried a different language, a different culture, and still in English and understanding them, right? So that is all there from this. And there is also a fun fact when we talk about the translations. So did you know that Tintin is our favorite cartoon character, our favorite little detective and our favorite graphic novel character Tintin is actually written in French. This character is translated from French to 115 languages. Yes, so that is something which makes it one of the most translated characters and one of the most translated stories. So that was a fun fact in our world of translations and our world of books. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I will be coming up soon with an unboxing video. I have received a box full of books on this Valentine's and I hope to share it with you people really soon. And if you want to see that box, do mention in the comment section, and also do not forget to mention in the comment section if you have read the translations, if you loved them, and what are your views on the translations, whether you are a person who loves to read them or you are a person who would not like to read the translations. I will be waiting for your views, for your perspectives in the comment section below. I would love to see you very soon in the comment section as well as in another upcoming video. Till then, I bid adieu and I will see you again. Happy reading.